congrats on your win this past Saturday. You went through a lot, not just to get to last Saturday, with the fight having to be redone and stuff, but obviously this past year's been tough on all of us. Pandemic, Kenosha. So congrats on that win. It must be a huge relief to now be able to hang back and be with your boy and your wife and friends and family.
It's been hard, but not as hard as you've been on that computer. That poor thing. I could hear it sizzling. George.
It's running its course. It's coming to an end.
You're like, we'll wait till Ben Rothwell comes on to have everything be like broken and dysfunctional. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, how about the guy who showed up with a black screen to start off the interview?
George's computer was like so bad it's messing up my computer. It's just like an ongoing virus.
You're in a different spot right now because I really dug this. All right, last time we spoke to you, you looked like you were in some kind of man cave or office, and you were just starting to put up these pictures. I think there was a real cool one of Darth Vader or someone like that. Where is that?
I wanted to be there, and my wife is insistent that it's a dungeon. Blah blah blah. You got to come out in the sunlight.
No, it's a cool dungeon.
I know, but she's like adamant about me being in sunlight. I've been losing a lot of the battles lately around here, so I just let it go. I'm winning the ones that are important in the cage, and then when I cut out of the cage, I lose all the battles. So it's the way it is right now.
George kind of touched on something, but I mean, really, when you think about it, right, Ben? Everything surrounding this fight. Have you ever been a part of a fight that's had so much chaos going on outside the world, around the world, within the fight, within, just trying to get here and have your fight go off? Can you remember any other instance that was almost as bad as it?
Not really. I was going to say, the pandemic started last year. I had 2 fights during that, and, they're pretty crazy. The fight with OSP was the first fight back, and everybody was coming at Dana White about trying to throw shows, and it was crazy in its own right. But OSP agreed to the fight 2 weeks before, and there was no basically any catches after that. This fight, 7-month training camp and multiple opponent changes. It was supposed to be Philip Lim most of the time. And then, here I'm going to fly to Vegas 2 weeks ago. I'm going to have my very first fight in Las Vegas. 22 years in this sport. I'm going to have my very first fight in Las Vegas. So it's kind of like a special thing for me. And I'm like, wow, it's really going to happen. First fight in Vegas. And I was talking to my management about it. And I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to fight in Affliction. Didn't happen. I was supposed to fight, Pedro Hizzo in Vegas. Didn't happen. I was supposed to fight in the IFL one time in Vegas. Didn't happen. All my UFC time, a decade in it, never happened. Fight in Vegas. So I'm like, this is really going to happen. I get there. I weigh in. I get off the scale. I'm talking to my, corner man, and I get a phone call telling me, yeah, Philip Lim's out. You're not going to fight in Vegas. And I was like, doomed to never fight in Las Vegas. And then we get home, and they're like, all right, he's going to fight you, though. He just needed a couple weeks, and they're going to rebook it in Las Vegas, so it's going to happen. And I was just like, this fight's not going to happen. Like, they're booking me in Las Vegas again. I'm like, I'm doomed. It's not going to happen. So 5, 6, and then, of course, then I get the call 2 days later that he can't fight me. And I'm like, not even surprised, because you booked me in Las Vegas. I'm not going to fight Philip Lim. And they kept going, 4 or 5 different guys back and forth. And I was just like, sure. And I was deep inside. I'm like, I got to fight. I've been training so hard. I'm like, God, if you're there listening, let's make this fight happen. And then Chris Barnett, went through. And then we got the fight. We did it. And finally.
Well, on that same note, one of the things that people love about fighting in Vegas is the history that the city has, right? So they don't do this too often anymore, but when you go through the Mandalay Bay, you go through the MGM, you see those old fight posters, and you see guys like Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad up on those walls. You got to fight in Vegas, but do you feel like you still need that one where maybe you're at the T-Mobile or something like that with the crowd, or enough with Vegas?
No. I want to get back there. I want to fight in the T-Mobile or the brand new. I'm not going to say its name because I mess it up. Big football stadium. Let's get a huge super UFC built in that thing. Let's sell that thing out. Stop let boxing take all the credit still. And but yeah, get a fight in Vegas with a crowd. Because that crowd, I know, the Las Vegas crowd will be one of the most educated, loudest crowds for MMA, and I can't wait to fight for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and I was actually gonna bust your chops, and now I can't because you kind of agree with the take. You fought in the Apex with no fans. We can tick the box, but yeah, we need to have a proper fight. You have a lot of fans, man. People get excited when you fight. I could see it on Twitter. A lot of my friends and a lot of junkies were texting. So hopefully sometime soon, it's Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. And yeah, man, boxing's got one on us because I think Fury and Wilder are going to box there. And I was pretty sure the UFC would beat them to it, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But it doesn't mean that the UFC can't still have a show and maybe top them. So we'll see about that. But I'm glad you have the aspirations to do it proper in the fight capital of the world. Did you come out of the fight, Big Ben, injury-free? Are you good to go, like the rest, family time, and then start a camp in a few months?
Not a few months. I want to so based on my team, I talked to my team. Kayla and I are going to get back starting Tuesday to start sparring. Luis and I are getting together Thursday. I got to get going. I was trying to push myself and get going this week. I said in the after-fight press conference that I was going to try to get going, but it's not easy. At 39, the body just is like telling me to fuck myself. It's like, dude, I just gave you my best for 7 months, so we're going to sit. Fine line. I got to rest a little bit, but if I rest too much, I've already I get out of shape quick, so I'm walking a fine line of like I got to give myself some rest, but then I got to get back on it and get to it. No time to waste.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know yourself best. You've won 3 of your past 4, so right now would be a good time to, I guess, keep with that momentum and get yourself in the position to be in that stadium show. The stadium show is going to happen sometime this year. I feel it. So, like I say, you know your body best. I guess there's got to be ways where you can still train, still break a sweat, and not, add pounds or whatever, but without the heavy lifting, you know what I mean? The stuff that really, really tears someone down in a camp. Do you have those types of workouts, or is every workout goddamn hard?
Oh, no, it's a mix. I mean, I can even spar in a way where I've done it for so long. I can get a really good sweat, spar really good, and both of us walk away like not a big deal. It's just the kind of intensity you push into it. And then there's other times where I'll do half the amount of rounds and I'm done. It's just all about the volume and how many takedowns and all that. So there's always a line with that too. I can train and not break myself down. That's the kind of training I need to do right now the next few weeks is the building type of training. Staying on the treadmill and running. The running has really been a big deal because I didn't do very much, say 5-6 years ago. Like all through the IFL, I wasn't really running during all that period of time. Beginning of the UFC era for me, I really wasn't running. Now it's like I run 3 to 4 times a week. It's a really big deal. I think it's being a big guy, it's important. But at the same time, it's also can be really hard on me because I am big. So, it's just trying to find that happy balance. And, it's just something I have to constantly work at.
You hit this guy with some big shots. He wouldn't go away. But he also hit you with some big shots. You wouldn't go away. At the end of the day, was this your type of fight? Or, I mean, I know it's always get him out of there as quick as possible, but you kind of look like you were having some fun.
This was one of the funner fights I had for sure. Because after the takedown and we got back up and I went into the second round, I knew I was in complete control of the fight. I'm actually kind of disappointed about a few things because I became in such much control in the second round where I maybe could have picked how I finished. But at the same time, I wasn't going to disrespect the sport. I'm like, nope, just handle this the way it needs to be handled and finish as soon as I can. With the positives, you know, I hit my takedown and I was working some ground. And then the same side, I let him get back up because I didn't put my hooks in. It's like such a no-no. It's like I'm so much better than that. And I think I was just excited. 10 years, I hit my first takedown. I just really haven't utilized my wrestling for a long time. And now it's going to be the game changer. It changes my game. It makes me such a bigger threat to the other heavyweights. And we're going to see some big changes this year. So I'm looking to get down on the ground with these guys, and it's going to make some changes. As far as him hitting me, come on, man. I've been hit by some bad dudes in this place. So if that's the hardest I get hit, I'll be okay. You know what I mean? Not taking anything away from him. He's got a low center of gravity, and that dude is strong. So it's not somebody you really want to get hit on the chin with. But luckily, I was getting hit on my blockhead, so it wasn't so bad. So I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Can you expand on? You said you didn't want to disrespect the sport. What was going on there that you felt like you may have done that?
You get cocky, and you're like, "Oh, I got this," and then the dude hits you with an overhand right. So,
yeah.
I've been around for a minute. That those are the kind of mistakes I don't need to make. You know, and it can happen to anybody.
It was clear you could take his best shot, and I think that's what allowed you to keep bobbing and weaving in and picking your shots. But at the same time, what makes him kind of dangerous is even though he was obviously more exhausted than you were, he did throw some unorthodox kind of wing and type hooks that can be kind of dangerous, and you did a good job of not walking into one of those. But all in all, it did look like you were in control from start to finish.
Absolutely, he can be dangerous. Like you said, he's like I said, the guy's a power lifter. His arms and legs are pretty strong. He carries a lot of that weight around. And he moves well. He's very athletic, and he does throw with reckless abandon. That if you are sloppy and he gets you right on the chin, that he can knock some heavyweights out for sure. And because he's so unorthodox throwing that stuff, it's just people are used to dealing with a 1, 2, 3, and then this guy's throwing stuff from angles that you just aren't used to. So. I mean, it even kind of caught me off a little bit. You know, I was even ready. I was like, guy, he does spinning kicks. He throws at weird angles. And even knowing that and being a lot more patient, I noticed the commentating team kept, recognizing that I was being patient. I mean, I want to go in there and be crazy. It's great. But it's at the same time, I can't against a guy like that because he's doing something crazy. I don't want to move in and get hit by something stupid. And he basically was throwing himself on the spear, as I say. I was kind of being patient, and every time he throws something crazy, I was countering him, and I kind of just let him end himself.
Ben, is it almost unfair for the UFC, for us, even for you, to really assess your last couple performances just because of what you've had to go through to get to those fights? The situation surrounding. I was thinking about this and I was watching you and I was like, I don't even know if this is a true representation of Ben Rothwell because he's just had it kind of tough going into these last couple fights, even in a win.
Tell you about the last fight in Abu Dhabi, that sucked. It was one of the worst fights I've had to go through. Tybura keep counting to his lucky stars because that was the time to beat me and that was going to be it. It's just a lot was against me with that. So all the stuff going on at home with my whole city burning down. The flight didn't go well. I didn't sleep at all. Not making excuses because I got in the cage and I threw some heat. It's just it is what it is. It's either you're going to do really well and you feel good, and the guy beats you, or you don't feel good and the guy beats you. It's like, well, when you don't feel good, it's like you're always going to have that inside of you. Like, all right, man, you didn't beat me at my best. So we're going to do this again someday. And it's kind of where I am on that because I was coming on. I was on a 2-fight win streak too. And honestly, I was on a hiatus 2017, 2018. I didn't get a single fight in. I come back in 2019 and now this was fight number 6. I'm kind of back to zero. I'm 3-3 now in these last 6 fights. But the first 5 fights, you're right. I haven't been myself. There's a lot of rebuilding that's been going on. That 2 years off was very, very hard on me. A lot. I've been dealing with a lot physically and a lot of things inside with internal medicine, dealing with my hormones. There's a lot to deal with, but I'm now in a place where I really feel like I feel like, in my opinion, I look better than I did 10 years ago. I look better now at 39 than I did at 29. That's crazy. It just shows like that's how hard I'm busting my ass. And I'm doing a lot of other things outside of dealing with my recovery and with my diet. I spend a lot more money on my coaching because now my coaching consists of Andy Guypen, who is a top-notch nutritionalist, and he's really doing a lot to help me with science and dealing with my diet. And I'm just trying to pull out all the stops and do my very best. And the last 5 fights, they're garbage. And let's be honest, I'm really flat-footed. I'm just not doing well. There's certain things that have happened in the fights prior to like the Andre Arlovski fight in July 2019. That was a mess the week of the fight. I'll just put it this way: some people lost their jobs because of things that were going on. So it was obviously some things were going that shouldn't have happened. This last fight, the fight in Abu Dhabi, like I was just saying, there's just a lot of things and I went crazy. Apparently, that fight was the second most strikes thrown in a 3-round heavyweight fight in history. So I went in there and went ape shit because I was kind of like, I was so scared because I knew that I was like, I had no sleep. I was broke off, and I just went in like a wild animal, and that didn't work. So this fight, you seen the opposite. Like, here's a guy that now got to sleep. I trained properly, 7 months. I got my body right. I'm finally feel like I'm kind of like normal now. I got my body like healthy, and I was able to fight patiently. And like the fight wasn't long. It was 2 minutes in the second round, but I mean, I was fine. I mean, I was ready to fight 2 more rounds hard. I'm really trying to get myself ready to go full 5-round fight and still be able to talk after the 5 rounds. I mean, that's the kind of conditioning we need, and I'm trying to get that. So, yeah, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it didn't matter who the opponent was this fight. I feel like something happened. Something's different. Something's different about me. Do the fans notice? Because, man, I got a lot of love on this fight. Fans really hit a lot of messages, a lot of positive comments. The commentators are cool. The UFC's cool. Everybody's like really happy with me right now. And maybe it's the way I look. Maybe people can see the difference. I don't know. Maybe it's God. All of these things maybe together. Something happened. Something's different. And I'm really excited for the next fight and to get going on a win streak.
What are you most proud of this run here that you've had with the UFC? Because you've had a lot of fights. You've had a lot of fights in your career, but what's the one thing that you're most proud of?
Probably the fact, okay, there's a couple things. I'm just off the top of my head. My son was born March 25th, and I've won a fight now 8 weeks after he was born. Sounds crazy, but that's something that was really weighing on me because I've watched for years fighters and they have a baby and then they lose their next fight. I don't know what the statistic is because maybe it's my own thing that I've witnessed, but I bet you the statistic is there's a lot of guys that have lost fights after having a baby. And that my wife has listened to me, so she's probably stressed out during this whole time about it. And she's a badass, and man, did she do an outstanding job taking care of him. And I honestly don't care who I win against. I think you guys could see I'm in a different place. You can see my shape, your conditioning, see where I'm at. It doesn't matter who I was going to fight. I'm going to win. I mean, that's just how I felt. And we did it. You know, he's here, he's healthy, and we got the win. And I feel like we really learned a lot, and we're ready to continue on the rest of this year. Because, let's face it, the first 2, 3, 4 months of a baby, probably the hardest. You know, they're waking up, they're going through a lot. And now each month that goes by, it's getting a little bit easier. So I feel like I'm going to go into the next fight just even stronger, even better. And I'm proud of the fact that we got it done. We got it done together. You know, we're a team in this. I said it once, I'll say it again. I love winning because it's not just me that got the win. She won. He won. My team won. All of my family at Rothwell MMA won, like, because everybody put so much into me. And that's why I just love this so much, because I get to see other people smile and they feel what I feel. Second thing I'm most proud of is the fact they got my third go-go choke. They can call it whatever they want. We all know the truth. And I submitted one of the best submission artists in the planet with it. And I got a third submission. And it kind of reawoke something in me that I know I have a huge advantage over the rest of the heavyweight division. A huge advantage. Like, distinctively, I can beat everybody in the top 10, including the champ. I get a hold of your neck, man. It's over. But I can't wait to show you guys all the other submissions that I got. I got things like the go-go, but I'll do it to your arms and to your legs. It's coming.
Can you call it those go choke?
What's that?
The other ones that people haven't seen, will you call one that goes go?
Arm bars, triangles. I got key locks and heel hooks that'll finish guys. It's just stuff, a lot of stuff that you probably haven't seen even heavyweight people do off their back, and it's coming. And that's me off my back. Dude, put me on top. 280 pounds come crushing down on you. Your world's going to feel rough. It's going to get ended.
The MMA judges love that top game. So, yeah, them chokes and holds, as long as you're on top, that's a good thing, because a lot of times when you're on your back, sometimes the decisions won't go your way. But it doesn't matter, because you finish most of your fights by some sort of a KO or submission anyway. That's 35 out of 39, Big Ben, of your wins have been finishes. You got to be proud of that stat too.
It's good. It's okay, because it would be better if it was 39. I want 39 out of 39. Then I'd be like, that's acceptable. 35 out of 39, it's okay.
You're fighting some of the best in the world. Have you seen the guys you fought in your career? I mean, like,
it's okay.
Be happy with 90%. You don't see 90% too often. But I love that you strive to continue to improve. So
only one in the UFC, mind you, too. Wait. OSP was one. Garbage. And then two. I've had two.
Overeem. Mitrione.
2 in the UFC.
What are you talking about? Vera, you finished. I was at that fight.
Yeah. So I've only had two decisions. It was Gilbert Ivel and OSP.
Yeah.
Only two of them were in the UFC. Sorry.
Okay, I thought you meant finished.
No, I finished the rest. I finished the rest.
Hey, here's another thing, too. About 5 years ago, you sat with us once, and then you kind of joked that your corner – so you're giving them praise right now, and I'm digging it, because I think one time you said, sometimes my cornermen know that it doesn't matter that they're there. I just kind of coach myself. I know what to do. Has that changed, or do you still have a little bit of that side to you? Did you lose him? Ben, you there?
I think the connection kind of.
It's George's computer.
There he is.
George, you better fix that computer, man. I'm not putting up with this.
It's not me. I'm sitting here with those. It was you this time.
King of Kenosha, I got things to do. I'm busy. And then you're sitting here messing your computer up.
Did you hear the question? You want me to ask it again?
You said, do I tell my cornerman to fuck off still? Yes, I still do. Because I can't. Oh, is this a children TV? Sorry. Am I not
that doesn't matter, but I didn't say that you said that, but go ahead.
Well, you did. I'm going to tell my cornerman I got your picture too. I'm like, this guy right here. So they're with me the week of the fight. Like, they're with me. I listen, we do our stuff. It's in the fight. Once I'm inside the cage, listen, if I don't know what to do, we got problems. And some guys are like that. Some guys need that reassurance from the coach in the corner, yelling at them in between rounds. Tell me what to do, coach. They're younger than me, fight-wise. I just been doing this where it's like, we got it. You know what I mean? So what my guys focus on is what is my opponent doing? What is the cornerman saying? That's our focus. And I'm giving you guys some stuff right now that I don't really talk about, but fuck it. It's I don't care what they know anymore, because I'm doing it anyway. And that's the strategy of it. And we come to grips. Yelling stuff out to me, it's pointless. It is.
I am glad that the wrestling, you're bringing back the wrestling roots, because I think blending your striking with the wrestling to get you to the ground where you are one hell of a grappler will be good. So that's kind of what I was talking about, was those connecting of the dots that's been happening here with the coaches that, yeah.
100%. Yeah, my best training partner I've had now is Kalen Hall. He's 6'7", 265 pounds. He's fucking big. He's a D1 wrestler. So he's not only an awesome training partner, he's like my wrestling coach and a great fucking big body I get to practice everything against. With him, with Luis, my jiu-jitsu, and I now have a boxing coach just keeping my hands sharp and working on things. I really, really have a great system right now. I'm really in a good place. I think, and the fight showed it. All aspects got used in the last fight too. So it's a huge weapon for me getting on top of these guys.
There's one question I know you never get fired up about, and that's who's next. I'm not going to bother with that. Just tell me a month where you're really comfortable, where you want to fight, like July, August, September. And another thing, are you a fan of rematches, or do you like a fresh body each time?
I don't know what – I tried it with Andre, and that fucker, he it's gone. The first time we fought, I needed to get it done, and it was just he was on that night. I believe he went into his next fight against Fedor and looked that 3 minutes prior to Fedor catching him was probably one of the best Andre Arlovski's ever been. And then a decade goes by, and him and I fight again. And I think it's going to be different this time. And, man, did some shit go wrong that week. And Andre trained hard for me, and we went to a decision, beat the shit out of each other. And it sucked. But if I'm going to lose to a guy, I'm glad it was him because he's a fucking awesome guy. And every time I see him, I'm always happy to see him and joke around with him. And he's just a cool guy. It's the thing is, so many of these guys I got to fight, if we weren't fighting, I'd be like, want to be best friends with these guys because we have so much in common. And, he's one of those guys. Then there's some of the guys that I can't stand them. I hear them or I see how they act. Can't wait to beat their ass. So luckily there's not too many of them because I like to be professional. I can love you and whatever and still punch you in the face. It's okay. We'll be all right. We'll shake hands after. It'll be okay. No big deal. Let's make the crowd go crazy, and then we'll have a beer after. And if you don't drink, it's fine. I'll just fucking slap you anyway. Rematches, if it's necessary. So I mentioned Tybura, the guy, he's on a win streak. He's closer to the title than I am. But if I follow behind him with some wins, there's a chance him and I might make sense to have to fight him again. And I'd like to get that one back. I want to fight him in the United States and fight him healthy and show him that he needed to count his lucky stars that first time we fought. That's just how I feel. I believe that he didn't see my best and he didn't it was unfair to him. It was unfair to him to not challenge him as much as I should have and to show him where I can really put him in his place. Again, it's just my opinion. Moving forward, I think I have a whole bunch of fresh matchups that are very exciting. Most of the top 10, it's all a fresh matchup. A lot of the guys that I fought have moved on or gone or retired or been cut. So, yeah, it's all exciting matchups here and out. And then there's a lot more and more of these newer guys see me as easy fight, calling me out. Awesome. Let's get a little more vocal because when I ask for you, when I talk to the UFC and ask for you, they fucking laugh at me. That's what they think of you. So you guys go ahead and keep – we'll get to them. I want these guys to start, speaking up now. Now that I got this going, all right, keep speaking up. I know who you are. There's a few of them. And I'll see at the one. I already talked to Mick. This is why I said he'll laugh at me. That there was the other heavyweight fight that night, Tafa versus Vandera. Say his last name. Right?
Yeah, Vandera, something like that.
So Vandera there did the press conference, had my name come out of his mouth, said he wants to fight me. He said he'd fight me or Arlovski, but he especially would want to fight me. All right, well, I'm especially going to try and help you make that fight. So I don't think it's going to happen because I got told LOL. But I'm down. You're going to say my name. Hey, man, good. Come try to make your name off of me because I don't give a shit about rankings and politics. That shit, I can't control it. What I can control is wrapping my hands around you and rectifying your false sense of reality. So that's what's going to happen, bud. I'm going to try to get the fight to happen. I don't know what's going to happen though. Really, you know how the UFC is. They do what they want. They got a master plan.
Wow.
But if we could get this guy to run his mouth, get him to run his mouth some more, and we get the fans about it, and the fans start giving the pressure to the UFC, then we might get that fight could get made. So I think that's what we need to do. Yeah, we need to get fans talking. Tell fans, hey, let's make this fight. That's how this fight's going to happen.
Well, we got a big weekend coming up next week. I thought the winner of Sakurai and Biggie Boy might be good. That's fresh. And then you mentioned Tabora. He's got Walt Harris, the winner of that one. Or Vandra, man. I'm excited just hearing you talk about how excited you'd be to fight Vandra. So there's some possibilities, and we're pumped, and we're very happy for your win. And thanks for posting those pics of your baby boy on social media of him watching your fight. That was awesome. And thank you for the time today. Sorry about my computer, Big Ben.
Does that mean you're kicking me to the curb? You just like use me up and you're like done with me? That's fucked up. I know where you work.
It's been a half hour. We took half hour of your time.
I guess I'd get sick of me after like 10 minutes too, so I don't blame you. Right. It doesn't matter though. It's fucking your computer fucked up most of this and took like 10 minutes of my time away. So fuck you. Get your shit together.
I guarantee you, I'll get a new laptop soon.
Just
for you.
Fucking fix this guy.
Oh, okay.
You got why his computer's messed up, right? Downloaded all that dumb shit. He's got some viruses. You know why. Or knock that shit off. And get that Kleenex box off your table.
Get this guy out of here. All right, Big Ben. Thanks for the time.